On March 11, 2025, the world watched as former Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte was arrested. He faces charges at the International Criminal Court, or ICC. These charges relate to his controversial war on drugs while in office. The ICC issued a warrant for his arrest, alleging crimes against humanity. This event is significant. It marks a rare instance of a former head of state being held accountable by the ICC. Duterte's arrest has sent shockwaves through the Philippines and beyond. His supporters view the trial as a politically motivated attack. His critics, however, see it as a long-awaited step towards justice. The trial will undoubtedly be closely followed by the international community. It raises crucial questions about accountability, human rights, and the rule of law. The ICC's decision to prosecute Duterte stems from allegations of widespread and systematic extrajudicial killings during his anti-drug campaign. Human rights groups have accused the Philippine government under Duterte of condoning and even encouraging the killings. These accusations paint a grim picture of human rights abuses. This trial is not just about Duterte himself, it's about the thousands of alleged victims of his brutal drug war. Their families and loved ones have long demanded justice. The trial represents a glimmer of hope that their voices might finally be heard. The world is watching, waiting to see if the ICC can deliver justice where domestic courts have failed. Duterte's war on drugs remains a deeply divisive issue in the Philippines. The government claims the campaign resulted in around 6,000 deaths. However, human rights organizations dispute this figure. They estimate the actual death toll to be significantly higher. Some groups say the number could be in the tens of thousands. This discrepancy highlights the lack of transparency and accountability surrounding the anti-drug operations. The Philippine National Police maintains that those killed were all drug dealers who resisted arrest. However, human rights groups and witnesses tell a different story. They allege that many victims were unarmed and not involved in the drug trade. There are numerous accounts of extrajudicial killings, enforced disappearances, and other human rights violations. These allegations paint a disturbing picture of state-sanctioned violence and impunity. The ICC's investigation will delve into these allegations. They will examine the evidence and hear testimonies from witnesses and victims' families. The trial will shed light on the true extent of the killings. It will determine whether they were isolated incidents or part of a systematic campaign. The international community will be watching closely as the truth unfolds. The legacy of Duterte's drug war extends beyond the death toll. It has created a climate of fear and impunity in the Philippines. Many communities, particularly in impoverished areas, live in constant fear of police raids and extrajudicial killings. The crackdown has also led to mass incarceration and overcrowding in prisons. This further exacerbates the human rights concerns surrounding the drug war. The Philippines is on edge as Duterte's trial unfolds. His arrest has ignited protests and demonstrations across the country. His supporters, many of whom view him as a strong man who restored order and security, have taken to the streets. They denounce the ICC trial as an attack on Philippine sovereignty and an attempt to undermine Duterte's legacy. Adding to the political complexity is the role of current President Bongbong Marcos. Once a close ally of Duterte, Marcos has distanced himself from the former president's policies. Some speculate that the ICC's decision to proceed with the trial may have been influenced by Marcos's government. This adds another layer of intrigue to the already charged political atmosphere. Duterte's supporters argue that the ICC trial is politically motivated and a form of neocolonialism. They believe that Western powers are using the court to target leaders from developing nations. They point to the fact that the ICC has primarily prosecuted individuals from Africa. This fuels their perception that the court is biased against leaders like Duterte. The upcoming elections further complicate the situation. With emotions running high, the trial could become a focal point in the political campaigns. Candidates will need to navigate the sensitive issue carefully. They will have to balance appealing to their base while not alienating voters who support the ICC's pursuit of justice. The ICC trial of Rodrigo Duterte poses a profound dilemma for the Philippines. Will it deliver justice for the victims of the drug war and bring an end to impunity? Or will it further inflame political tensions and deepen the divides within Philippine society? The trial will undoubtedly have a significant impact on the country's political landscape. It could either serve as a catalyst for healing and reconciliation, or exacerbate existing divisions. The outcome will depend on how the trial is perceived by the Filipino people and how the government responds to the proceedings. The international community has a crucial role to play in supporting a fair and transparent trial. Foreign governments and organizations should monitor the situation closely. They need to ensure that the rights of both the accused and the victims are respected. The trial of Rodrigo Duterte is a defining moment for the Philippines. It is a test of the country's commitment to the rule of law and its ability to confront its dark past. The world is watching, hoping that justice will prevail, and that the Philippines can find a path towards healing and reconciliation. Please like, subscribe and comment.